Hello everyone, this is Sam from Language Atlas, and in this video I would like to show you the German B1 vocabulary Anki deck. In this video we will go over three things. First, I'd like to show you the course structure of the German B1 vocabulary Anki deck. Second, I'd like to show you the course content, and I will do so by looking at three decks within the overall German B1 vocabulary Anki deck. And third, I'd like to show you some brief editing options. So let's get started with the first point, which is to show the course structure. Now, normally you double click on an Anki deck to open it. However, I've already done so, as you can see right over here. Now the German B1 vocabulary Anki deck has 8 chapters: pronouns, conjunctions, verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, and determiners. However, when we look at chapter 4 nouns, we can see there's a little plus icon in front of it. If we click on it, we can see that there are 20 subdecks inside it. They range from academia and intellect, animals, arts and entertainment, body and health, all the way to sports, hobbies and activities, time, maths and numbers, and transportation. Now, what I've done is that I've categorized all the different words that you'd find in chapter 4 nouns, and I've categorized them by theme. So academia and intellect, electronics and technology, location, nature, environment, people, whatever you may wish, you can find it over here. And this is really handy in case you wish to learn a certain theme within the chapter for nouns. Now, that was the first point. Now I'd like to move on to the second point, which is to show the course content. And I will look at 3 decks. Now, I don't have enough time to show you all 9 chapters, but I do believe by showing you 3 decks, you can already get a good overview of what you would expect in the German B1 vocabulary Anki deck. I will look at home within chapter 4 nouns. I will look at chapter 5, adjectives, and I will look at chapter 3, verbs. So let's get started with home. Study now. And this is the first sentence. We see a German sentence with 2 blank areas. It is our job to know what goes inside the blank areas. We see the English translation. The curtain blocks out all the lights. We see that the curtain is bolded and underlined. So it's our job to know what the curtain is in German. And we see a picture. And the picture is a visual representation of the German sentence. Why is the picture here? So that you can better understand what the German sentence is about, but also to create a link to the words and to the sentence. This will really help you memorize things a lot better. So, what is the curtain in German?
Der Vorhang schirmt das ganze Licht ab. Der Vorhang, ein Vorhang. Die Vorhänge.
Great. So, I'd like to start with this area over here, which I like to call a sentence area. You can see that this is the correct German sentence. However, the right answer, der Vorhang, is in blue. But why is this the case? Well, German has 3 genders: masculine, feminine, and neutral. All masculine nouns are blue in my Anki deck. All feminine nouns are pink in my Anki deck, and all neutral nouns are green in my Anki deck. So this will really help you learn the gender of nouns in the German language, which is really important if you wish to use the German language. Underneath the German sentence, we have an IPA notation. And this IPA notation of the German sentence will really help you improve your pronunciation of the German sentence. We have underneath that the English translation of the German sentence. And finally, we have the audio.
Der Vorhang schirmt das ganze Licht ab.
When we look at the second area, we have the singular noun. Der Vorhang, ein Vorhang, so both in the definite form and in the indefinite form. We have the IPA notation of the singular noun, we have the translation and the audio.
Der Vorhang, ein Vorhang.
If you look underneath that, we see that we have the plural version. So we have the plural version of the noun, IPA notation of that, and the English translation. Click on this and we hear the audio.
Die Vorhänge.
Great. Let's look at another card. The move from Australia to Germany went well. How do you say the move?
Der Umzug von Australien nach Deutschland verlief gut. Der Umzug, ein Umzug. Die Umzüge.
Great. So you can see it's another card, but it has the same setup. Let's look at another one. The pan was too small for the steak.
Die Pfanne war zu klein für das Steak. Die Pfanne, eine Pfanne. Die Pfannen.
Wonderful. Now, again, same setup. However, there's a small difference right over here. we see that the noun is in pink. Why? Because it's feminine. And I mentioned before, feminine nouns are noted in pink over here. And we've seen a masculine noun before noted in blue. Let's see if we can find a neutral noun as well. The journal of my sister is on the top of her night table. The journal.
Das Tagebuch meiner Schwester liegt auf ihrem Nachttisch. Das Tagebuch, ein Tagebuch. Die Tagebücher.
So, now we see again same setup. However, we see a noun in green. Why is it green? Because it is a neutral noun. It starts with a das, which you can see right over here. We do one more. The tube for the sprinkler is damaged. How do you say the tube?
Der Schlauch für den Sprinkler ist beschädigt. Der Schlauch, ein Schlauch. Die Schläuche.
Great. So that was the first card type, where we see two blank areas and we have to know what goes inside the blank areas. I would like to show you the second card type, which is this one. Before we had to know what goes inside the blank areas. Now we have to type in the correct answer. So I will type in the correct answer right now and let's see what happens.
Der Vorhang schirmt das ganze Licht ab. Der Vorhang, ein Vorhang. Die Vorhänge.
Great. So if you typed in the correct answer, Anki shows it in green. However, what if you do not know the correct answer? Let's say do something like this.
Der Umzug von Australien nach Deutschland verlief gut. Der Umzug, ein Umzug. Die Umzüge.
So what you see right over here is that I made a mistake in gender. I thought it was neutral when it should have been masculine. And also, I typed in OE when it should have been a U. So if you have something incorrect, Anki shows it in red. What you did have correct, Anki shows in green. And right over here, we see the missing answers. Should have been ER and should have been a U. So this second card type, the typing card type, really helps you when it comes to spelling. And I could continue and you'd see more typing exercises. But we've seen this one before. So that was the first card type. Now, pardon me, that was the first deck. I'd like to go to the second deck, which is Chapter 5 Adjectives. Study now. And let's have a look at this one. In physical and mental terms, you are in perfect health. Mental, how do you say that?
Körperlich und geistig gesehen sind sie vollkommen gesund. Geistig.
Great. Same setup, sentence, adjective, right over here. I'm very pale and need a lot of suntan lotion in the summer. How do you say pale?
Ich bin sehr blass und brauche im Sommer viel Sonnencreme. Blass.
Blass. He is smart when it comes to managing money. How do you say smart?
Er ist klug, wenn es darum geht, Geld zu verwalten. Klug.
Smart. Wonderful. Let's do one more. Please wait. I am not dressed yet. How do you say dressed?
Bitte warte, ich bin noch nicht angezogen. Angezogen.
And this is how adjectives work. Now, I could continue. However, at a certain point, I would end up with the typing exercises which we have seen before. I'd like to go to the third deck, which is Chapter 3 Verbs. I'll click on Study Now. Same setup. He forgot to fold his laundry again. To fold.
Vergaß schon wieder, seine Wäsche zu falten. Falten.
Now, there is something that I'd like to note, which is the following. All verbs are in the infinitive form. So all verbs are shown as full verbs. So to fold, falten. Why is this the case? Once you know the full verb, once you know the infinitive, it is very easy to conjugate it for different subject pronouns, and it's very easy to conjugate it in different tenses. So the basis of everything is the full verb. And once you know that, you can change it to whatever you want. And this is what you will see in all Anki decks that I make. All the verbs for vocabulary are always in the infinitive form. Entrance exams at this university tend to be very difficult. Tend.
Aufnahmeprüfungen an dieser Universität neigen dazu, sehr schwierig zu sein. Neigen.
So there you have it. Another one. He's going to head the company next year. The head.
Wird nächstes Jahr das Unternehmen leiten. Leiten.
One more. I like the quote from this book because it contains a lot of wisdom. To quote.
Ich mag es, aus diesem Buch zu zitieren, weil es viele Weisheiten enthält. Zitieren.
Wonderful. And I could continue, but then we'd end up with the typing exercises, and we've already seen this before. So, those were the 3 decks that I wanted to show you. And now I'd like to move on to my third point, which is also my final point. And in this point, we will look at some brief editing options. And what I want to show you is how to edit the amount of cards that you see per day. So if you click on this little icon over here next to German B1 vocabulary, click on options. See there's a part called daily limits. And we look at new cards per day and we look at maximum reviews per day. And new cards per day regulates how many new cards you see every day. And I can change that from 20 to 50. And the maximum reviews per day shows how many reviews you do every day. So things that you've done before, you'll see them again. And I have increased this to 50 as well. And you can see that right over here, the numbers increased. I can decrease them as well from 50 to 20. From 50 to 20. I'll click on save and I decrease them again. My advice to you is to start with a low number. Language learning is all about creating a habit and sticking to it. And it's a lot easier once you start with a low number. If you do a high number, you may feel overwhelmed and you may end up quitting learning a language. But if you do a low number, it's easier to get with it and it's easier to build on afterwards once you've established that habit. So that was it for this video. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. You can get the German B1 vocabulary Anki deck at languageatlas.com. I will put all the necessary information and links in the comment section and description. So once again, if you want to get a deck, you can go to languageatlas.com. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you the best of luck when it comes to learning the German language. And of course, I wish you a very good day as well. Goodbye.